Good morning, everyone.
I think we're ready.
We're just waiting to make sure that the IT department can hear us on Zoom, and then Chair Crandall, we will be ready to begin.
Sounds like it's so far away.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. So we're just waiting still, Sam?
We're waiting for IT.
Okay. Those of you who haven't heard, we're waiting for IT at the moment so we can ensure that people on...
All right, Sam, good morning. I am upstairs. Can you hear me in the chambers?
We can hear you. Does that mean we're good?
Looks like we got a thumbs up from Sam.
All right. It looks like we are good.
Perfect.
All right. So we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. It's 9:01, of course, a little late, but IT always puts us in the, not IT, but the actual IT, not the people. Put us in this position sometimes. First, as customary, we always conduct a moment of silence. Does anybody have a moment of silence? I did not come with one. No? No? And so, well, I do have one, actually. This week, Saturday on May 15th, will be, I want to say, the 172nd year anniversary since the Bloody Island Massacre, and so there'll be a sunrise ceremony on Saturday. And so we'll stand in a moment of silence to honor those folks and honor that. Supervisor Simon, can you lead us in the pledge?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 4, consideration of extra items not appearing on the posted agenda. Do we have anything as needed? Not seeing anybody. So with that, we'll close item 4, move on to approval of consent agenda. Consent agenda items are usually non-controversial, and they'll be passed all through one motion. However, if a supervisor or even someone from the public desires to pull it, we can pull it and discuss it at a later time or when it's most convenient according to the agenda times. Is there anyone that would like to pull anything from the consent agenda from the board? I'll open it up to the public. Is there anything from anyone from the public that would like to look at an item on the consent agenda? Not seeing anyone in the chambers, and we will look online. No hands up. No hands up. So with that, I'll bring it back to the board, close public input for action.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve consent agenda 5.1 through 5.11.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And so we are at 9:04. Let's see. What do we have?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I'm going to go out there and I heard them.
Well, for the...
Was that what was yelping?
That was what was yelping.
They haven't been adopted yet?
It's not a box. It's a shopping cart.
Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, great. Here we go. This is... Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Really? So our 9:05 is the Lake County Animal Care and Control, and they brought the pets of the week who are definitely stealing this show and going to... I don't know. I don't want to go over there because I'll take one.
All right. Good morning. Thank you for having us. I am Jessica, the Deputy Director of Animal Control. With me is Officer Gonzalez, and our furry friends is a litter of 6 puppies. They were stray. There's 3 males, 3 females, or 3 and 3. Best guess is they're probably shepherd mix. Who knows? It's a Lake County special. They're about 6 to 7 or 7 to 8 weeks old, so they're pretty much ready to go home and hopefully live out a good, happy life. We also have 3 other litters of puppies right now. We have a litter of 8, a litter of 4, and another litter of 2. So anyone interested in adopting a puppy, please come. We have lots and lots.
Lake County Specials, or?
The others, we have one, yeah, pretty much. One litter, they kind of have some wiry hair, so there might be some sort of terrier going on, so they might be smaller.
They probably came from Lucerne. I know that dog.
These are Kelseyville puppies, so they're on this end of the lake. Yeah, they're all pretty sweet. They still have puppy breath.
That's fine, 'cause I know they have big paws, so I know what that means.
But yeah, you can, if you'd like to see them or any other dogs, we're at 4949 Hillbush Drive in Lakeport, 11 to 4, Monday through Friday, 11 to 3 on Saturday, 707-263-0278. If anybody would like to smell puppy breath.
Are they also online on the website? Okay.
Yes, they're online. I just put their pictures up today.
Okay. Yeah, that's. Man, I can't handle this.
Okay, I guess we gotta get back to work.
I want one of those.
Holy moly. You need to start bringing the paperwork. So
Oh, I know. They just, yeah, you guys gotta
Take them
have,
up the elevator and all.
we need to do another file for paperwork with animal control adoption paperwork right underneath the agendas next time.
Yep.
We're streamlining things.
Dude.
And I take it that upon adoption, they're done with all their shots and everything ready to go?
Yes, they definitely will be done with everything, spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, licensed, everything.
And while puppies are very cute, please do spay and neuter your animals, or else we end up with puppies in our shelter, and it's difficult to find a place to give them a home.
Yeah, that's the wiry dog. That's where he's in Lucerne. He hops fences. He's a terrier. That's, yeah. His name's Jody.
Poor Jody.
All right. With that, as they're passing them around, we'll go on to 906, our public input item. For public inputs, if there's something you would like to address that's not on the agenda, of course, you can come up to the microphone and you'll have 3 minutes. We have our timer fixed again, I think, so we will, that way we can keep it time. I have an egg timer, but I don't really want to use that, so, because it's just not, yeah. So we'll, I don't see anybody in the chambers, but I do see somebody online with their hand raised. And B. Holiday, if you could state your name and unmute, and you have 3 minutes. As long as it's not something that's already covered on the agenda. If it is, then we'll direct you to that time frame when we talk about that. So thank you again, ladies.
Thank you.
B. Holiday.
Good morning.
There you go.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I have to warn you in advance, this might take an extra couple of minutes. This is a formal reading of a letter into the public record, and it is for legal purposes, and so I would appreciate that extra leeway. This is a letter received
Ma'am,
by the Lake County Registrar's Office on April 14th. This letter is from Robert E. Thomas III, and it is addressed to Maria Valadez, the registrar. It is regarding a notice to preserve paper and electronic evidence from the New California State Movement. And again, it is a formal notification. Dear Ms. Valadez, I represent the New California State Movement and the statistical anomalies that we have found in ballot tabulations in the November 2020 general election and the recent 2021 recall election, in which your office is the repository of all ballots and electronic records of vote tabulations. This letter requests your immediate action to preserve all paper ballots without respect to how those ballots were generated, and all electronically stored information that may contain evidence important to the full forensic audit and verification of the accuracy of all vote tallies in the above-mentioned elections. Briefly, the New California State Movement intends to conduct a full forensic audit of votes in both elections. This notice applies to your county's on- and off-site paper ballot storage and all on- and off-site computer systems and removable electronic media and storage and retrieval systems, plus all computer systems, services, and devices, including all remote access and wireless devices used for your office's overall operation. The records and electronic media and storage and retrieval systems include, but are not limited to, all email and other electronic communications, electronically stored documents, records, images, graphics, recordings, spreadsheets, databases, calendars, system usage logs, contact manager information, telephone logs, internet usage files, deleted files, cache files, user information, and other data. Further, this notice applies to archives, backup and discovery tapes, backup and disaster recovery tapes, disks, drives, cartridges, voicemail, and other data. All operating systems, software, applications, hardware, operating manuals, codes, keys, and other support information needed to fully search, use, and access the electronically stored information must also be preserved. The importance of immediate action cannot be overstated. Electronically stored information is easily corrupted, altered, and deleted in normal daily operations. Even booting a drive, running an application, or reviewing a document can permanently alter evidence. An important method for preserving data, and that is a typo, it should say preserving data, is in its original state is to have a forensic image, mirror image, or clone image made of pertinent hard drives of both office and home computers used for business and of network servers. This image captures all current data, including the background or metadata about each document. Page 2. Simply copying data to a CD-ROM or other common backup medium is not adequate. For each captured image file, record and identify the person creating the image and the date of creation. Secure the file to prevent subsequent alteration or corruption, and create a chain of custody log. Once the forensic data image is created, the pertinent computer or other device can be placed back into operation. Please identify any key persons, officers, supervisors, and employees' computers to which special attention for forensic imaging must be directed. This preservation notice covers the above items and information between the following dates: October 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2022. Follow the above procedures to preserve electronic information created after this notice. Current law and rules of civil procedure clearly apply to the discovery of paper and electronically stored information, just as they apply to other evidence, and confirm the duty to preserve such information for discovery. Your county and your officers, employees, agents, and affiliated organizations must take all reasonable steps to preserve this information until this legal matter is finally resolved. Failure to take the necessary steps to preserve the information addressed in this letter or other pertinent information in your possession or control may result in serious sanctions or penalties, and any failure to preserve as requested may cause a future judge to instruct a future jury that a failure to preserve evidence may be construed as an admission that the record is not reliable and should therefore lose its certification for that election. Further, to properly fulfill your preservation obligations, stop all scheduled data destruction, electronic shedding, rotation of backup files, and the sale, gift, or destruction of hardware. Notify all individuals and affiliated organizations of the need and duty to take the necessary affirmative steps to comply with this duty to preserve evidence. Your acknowledgement of the receipt of this letter and your concurrent duty to keep, preserve, safeguard, and disclose
Ma'am,
the
you're-
requested
you're gonna have to
information
come
is
to
appreciated.
a closing point
Sincerely,
soon.
Robert E. Thomas III, attorney for the New California State Movement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I don't see any other hands up in Zoom, so I'll go ahead and close public input. And we will move on to our 6.3, our 907. Consideration of resolution proclaiming the existence of a local emergency due to pervasive tree mortality. And this is Supervisor Pyska's and Supervisor Simon's. And so Supervisor Pyska, I'll go ahead and give the floor to you and Supervisor Simon.
Yeah, we had a presentation on this last week, but we only had 3 of us here. I hope you had a chance to watch the videos. We don't have to rehash everything that we talked about. It was a long afternoon. But I do have Mike Jones on the call. He should be on via Zoom. He did prepare another report for us to look at as we're really examining the evidence and the data. We're lucky enough to have lots of subject matter experts weighing in on this for us. So Mike's got Jake has some slides for Mike to speak on. Do you see Mike in the room?
Yeah, I see.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
there he is. We don't hear you, Mike.
Good morning, Supervisors. Thank you for having me again. Apologies for not being in person. I guess I'm here to answer questions. Supervisor Pyska, whatever you want me to do, let me know. And if we want to talk about the document I provided or just general questions about the current mortality issue and bark beetle outbreak, I'm here to answer those questions or talk about that.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, could you just speak a little bit about the report that you created for us?
Sure. So what I tried to do was, unfortunately, not all the supervisors were there last week, so I tried to summarize my presentation into just a basic document highlighting the key aspects of the talk and kind of trying to frame where we are currently in this bark beetle outbreak and conifer mortality event. We are very much interested, as you know, y'all supervisors of Lake County are very much interested in the mortality within your region, but I would like to emphasize that this is a North Coast regional issue, right? We're experiencing mortality across the entire North Coast, aside from Humboldt Del Norte. And the most recent kind of aerial surveys and information coming in is that the Northern Sierra is also starting to experience a significant increase in conifer mortality. So this is something that is not specific to the county. We're seeing landscape level mortality and bark beetle outbreak. So this is a pretty significant event and not something that's going to go away anytime soon or anything that's going to be very easily manageable in the short term. So I just tried to highlight those points in this document to provide some information for the supervisors who missed the presentation last week, but also as a way to summarize what was a visual presentation into a Word document. Are there any questions? I know I doubt y'all had a huge chance to go through the whole thing, but I guess basically the point is that we're at it's called the incipient stage of the outbreak, which is the initial stages, and frankly, it's just going to get worse from here. It'll exponentially increase as far as mortality decline through the summer, and my expectation based on our knowledge of bark beetle outbreaks is that this will probably persist for at least a few years. So there's lots of things that you have to think about as far as your management goals and objectives, short-term plans, what you're thinking long-term, and how you're going to deal with an abundance of dead trees in the landscape. Are there any questions?
Yeah, did any of the other supervisors have questions for Mike?
I don't have any questions. I think this is definitely something we need to be jumping on. You can see it driving from Kelseyville down to Lower Lake. Every time you go by, there's more trees that are dead. And it's frightening. One fire, that's going to go up. And if there's winds, how are we going to stop it? So we need to be making sure that we are doing the proper things here to protect our communities.
Okay, do you have any?
Yeah, I think just for me, Jessica, I know Supervisor Pyska has done a lot of work. Obviously, I think you just went on the trip last week too, the helicopter. I heard you flying right over the house, so I knew what was going on. So, you know, as we move forward, when we've been talking about this from the Lake County Risk Reduction Authority and all the opportunities moving forward, you know, we're updating the CWPP, we're moving in those directions to be proactive. And I think, just as Supervisor Scott said, you can see it. I just drove from Middletown up to here, and from South County all the way through. Every ridgetop you see, we're starting to see the trees dying off. I know, you know, this isn't an easy conversation, but it's a conversation we need to have. And being proactive, I think setting up the opportunity for federal and state opportunities for declarations, I think this is where it starts. I know that we've done a little bit of research, and other counties previously in previous years have done it the same way, and sometimes it just has to start at the county level. So I know we've had a lot of conversations. This is, like I said, you know, not an easy conversation, but it's the right conversation. So setting this up, obviously I'm in favor of it. I see it every day. I get up every morning. The only main, you know, there are a couple places in the county. You have the Rivieras, you have the South County area, Mount St. Helena, and other things coming over Napa from the Napa County line. I get up every morning looking at the tree death and the mortality just in the South County, and it's exponentially increased. I think some numbers I could probably talk about. I think at the beginning of the beginning of this year, there was about 220 trees on current property in South County. When we did our last evaluation, we were over 1,000 trees in our area. So we're working on, you know, some of those in my current area, but I know that's not all of them. Obviously, we have Jerusalem Grade, we have Spruce Grove Road, we have all of those, and trying to be proactive, I think, is the right way to do it. Not saying it's going to slow anything down. I clearly hear from Mike Jones it's going to be happening for years. But we've got to start the line somewhere, and I think it starts here with the Board of Supervisors in this declaration. So that's where I stand on this, and I'll continue to, you know, support Supervisor Pyska as we're moving through this process. But what we found